The night began quietly, the two of us surrounded by the hum of the city outside, and the lingering aroma of dinner still hanging in the air. But beneath the calm, there was tension, something I'd felt long before she spoke. She had been different for days, her laughter louder when I wasn't around, her attention lost in her phone. That night, she leaned against the doorway, biting her lip nervously before saying, almost casually, "It's only one night." Her words seemed harmless on the surface, but they carried a sting that cut deep. I didn't answer right away. I just looked at her, letting the silence press down until she began to fidget. "Just one night," she repeated, softer this time, like it meant nothing. But I knew better. I'd seen the signs, the late messages, the secretive glances, the excuses that never quite made sense. She thought it was just one night. To me, it was the night that could destroy everything we had built. When I finally spoke, my tone was calm but final. "Then it'll be your last night here." Her breath caught, and I saw the realization sink in. She hadn't expected that. Maybe she thought I'd joke it off, forgive her like before. But I didn't move when she reached for me. I simply took a step back, not out of anger, but because I was done letting her cross that line. "You think one night doesn't matter?" I said quietly. "One night can undo years of trust." She tried to laugh, the sound trembling as it left her lips. "It's not what you think," she murmured, her voice small, searching for a way out. But I'd heard every variation of that excuse before. The justifications, the minimizing, the hope that I'd yield again. "Call it whatever you want," I said. "If you choose it, that one night ends us." Her confidence cracked, and for the first time, she looked unsure of herself. The air between us grew heavy with the weight of what couldn't be taken back. I could see her struggling, torn between what she wanted and what she stood to lose. But my mind was already made up. Trust, once broken, doesn't bend. It breaks. The silence stretched, thick and sharp. She opened her mouth to plead again, but one look from me stopped her. She understood now that this wasn't a threat or a bluff. My peace, my dignity, my heart, they weren't up for negotiation. "You've had your chance," I said softly, but with finality that left no room for doubt. Her eyes widened. She hadn't expected calm. She expected rage, maybe shouting, something she could twist into guilt. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. The ticking clock was the only sound left, each second echoing her mistake. She looked around the apartment as if seeing for the first time. The life we had built, the comfort, the shared memories, all of it slipping away because she chose to gamble on something fleeting. Regret flickered in her eyes, but it was too late. I turned and walked toward the bedroom, gathering a few essentials. She followed me, her voice trembling, "Please don't." But I didn't answer. There was nothing left to say. My silence was the answer she had earned. When I left the room, she stayed behind, and for a long moment, the quiet felt like freedom. The walls no longer echoed with uncertainty. The weight that had lingered for months was gone. By morning, so was she. The faint scent of her perfume and the remnants of last night's wine were all that remained. I stood by the window, watching the city wake up, the light spilling over everything that was still mine. My peace, my clarity, my sense of self. She called it just one night. But that night ended more than she ever realized. It wasn't revenge or anger that guided me. It was self-respect. And that, I finally understood, was something I would never again trade for anyone's momentary thrill.